Rensselaer, who was beaten by Princeton last night. So Princeton helping out the Big Red. For the Red Raiders, 10-14-2 overall. They are 5-7-2 in conference action. 17 points, tied in points with 7th place Princeton. If you were to employ the tiebreaker, it would be Colgate relegated to 9th place. I should have said 8th place Princeton. So Colgate with the tiebreaker in 9th, so outside of home ice for the ECAC first round that will begin here coming up in several weeks. Bergslin a long shot here as the Raiders putting on some pressure in the opening stages of this one. Mentioned the Big Red looking for bodies tonight. Peter Musica will be making his Cornell University Big Red debut. Junior blue liner. Justin Ertl out of the line. Some good physical play in the offensive zone for the Big Red. And now it'll be Sebastian Dervin pulling up behind his own cage. Mentioned McGuire, and it was actually a little post-game get-together while I was doing some fill-in radio work with the Washington Capitals, and every time I brought up some facet of Cornell hockey or something, I had to forget what the other two sports were.
Yeah, okay. All righty then. All right, I'll work with that. But right now, pretty even match right there with Colgate and Cornell right now. Testing each other out, everyone's getting the shift in right now, and that's what we've had so far in the first 3.5 minutes. Not much really happening at all. A lot of forechecking, but not a lot of offensive opportunities yet.
Anderson will play this one back in. Gloved down easily by Shane. Another new face in the lineup, at least from a lineup perspective. Michael Suda, he'll be getting his first opportunity in front of the line of faithful. He's played the last 2 road games. The loss at Brown on Tuesday afternoon, and of course last night at Colgate. Mitchell will charge in. Locke unable to work to the front, but Miley has it. Shot, save, rebound, score!
The game is that if they don't have a chance, they'll dump the puck in, but if they don't have a chance to get there to try to make it a 50-50 puck, they pull back into a 1-2-2 and just wait for Cornell to come out. So it's a bit of a chess game when you play Colgate on the in lineup, because they do mix up their forechecks depending on if they can make a play on the puck on the forecheck.
McDermott putting Locke in a bear hug from behind down near the Zamboni corner. Puck rolling loose, and McDermott going to push this one ahead. Alex Young with it. He opened the scoring last night for Colgate, a game in which they never trailed. Big Red had quick answers to start the second period, just 8 seconds in. Goal by Zanitska, then Kyle Penny in the opening minute of period number 3 that temporarily tied the contest, but it was Manderville with the game winner on a power play in the third. Big Red stick handling in, Zanitska. Yes, that would be of the same Kent Manderville name back in the day here in the early 90s with the Big Red. That is his son Ethan. Near side McDermott's one-timer blocked into the corner by Malone. So the Big Red a 1-0 lead, nearly scored shorthanded. Now Malone chases deep right corner. Mack to the front, the tip, save by Benson, and he'll save. So Penny and McAvoy on the drop. Penalty is now over in the Big Red. In the offensive zone, Malone with the game's only goal, still holds, shoots, and Benson with traffic. Chris Crumbo. Mack sends it to the half wall, and that turns into a Cornell win. Mack charging out of the corner, backhander, saved by Benson. Puck is free, loose in the crease, and that slides all the way through to the far side. Mitchell pincing down. Malone covering his defensive spot as the Raiders now break out as Alex Young flips it off the wall in front of the Cornell bench. He locks up with Tim Rigo. Penalty call coming here. And Cornell's going to be shorthanded again. No, this one's going against Colgate. Alex Young with the hold, and he'll 0.3%. The Big Red power play 7th at 17.5. Big Red 0 for 4 last night, 0 for their last 10, and just 2 for their last 18. And some big pieces missing. You go all the way back to that 4-goal/5-goal game that Max Andreev had against Rensselaer earlier this season in the 11-3 victory, and I say that because one of his goals got waved off. Malinsky hammers in from center, no, attempted to, and that one carrying to the near side of the ice and squirting all the way into the Cornell zone. Alex Young off for another minute 20 and counting as the Big Red look to double its lead. Steinberg sends in, bumped along the wall, and Shane will field this one out of the corner as Locke back on the pickup.
Well, one thing about Colgate is they have a very strong penalty kill. They're around 88%. So that has been one strength for them.
And as Durbin stepped up to challenge. Suda taking on his man. That's Stewart along the end wall. Now it's a 5-skater scrum. 3 white Cornell jerseys, and it's fished out of there by Andrei Zanitska. Chipped off the glass, trying to create an odd man rush down that right side, but the Raiders clean it up and quickly come back the other way. Glassman for Stewart. He didn't like what he saw, peeled back on the change as the red comes out. Malone, he was stick handling through center, a man off the bench knocked it free. On this man up, trying to double their lead. Locke with some room, steps on that puck, jumping up on edge. Already had one game here today. That was a 6-3 win by Harvard over the Cornell women as Malone. At the time, but we were both sitting in the same vicinity of Liner Rink over in section N.
Yes, it was. That's true.
This one cleared out after the Raiders victorious in the circle. Malinsky slowing down behind his own net. He has 6 assists in his last 6 games. Team's third leading scorer as he's continued to climb the charts. 18 points overall, but the Big Red stopped off as soon as they broke the enemy blue line. Cornell with some pieces missing on the power play, obviously. As far as their power play leaders, top 2 goal scorers out tonight, Ben Berard and Max Andrea. 3 each with enemy skaters in the box. Steinberg and Malinsky with a pair each to lead the faction of what remains for the Cornell man-up units. Here's Malinsky now. Pressured on top by McAvoy. Now the Reds settling down with Penny. Back for Malinsky. Handing it off to Locke. Power play with 38 to go in it. And right now the Big Red content to go low to high. And now they'll bring Malone into the mix. Back door. Locke in front. Shot! And that one pushed just wide. It was in tight on Penny. It looked like he got it off the heel of his stick. Cornell was very patient. And once they did get it inside, It was a great look. Just couldn't convert.
No question about it. Great job with their forecheck and put Colgate on their heels right now.
Puck from center. Turned in by Kemp. That went high in the net. It's baptism by fire for some of these guys here. We're going to see the playing time go up just out of necessity.
No question about it. Yeah, and Colgate's playing a bit of a different game. I watched the game last night, and they're playing at home. They're definitely more aggressive. Here, like I said before, whether it's on a face-off or a forecheck, they will, if they don't have a shot to try to create a turnover like they did right there, they're going to pull back and put 5 guys in neutral ice. So.
Griffin Lunn in. The ECAC had really started to separate itself into 3 separate sections of 4 teams each with regard to the point totals, but a little bit of a slump by the Big Red has put those first round bye issues in perhaps a little bit of doubt. A lot of players out of the lineup, and goal scoring has become a problem. The Big Red, however, did get the only goal of our opening period. And they'll take this 1-0 lead into the second as we skate 4-on-4 hockey. O'Leary in the box for the Big Red. Manderville for the Raiders. Malinsky carries in as Malone and McDermott. Big collision on the boards, and Malone now stepping in. He chased the puck instead of McDermott. The stick firing off the glove hand of Benson, who's still ready to go on the draw against Josh McKechnie. Bounding through the circle, Malone unable to find the handle. And the Raiders had that Cornell forecheck to contend with. Slowed down was Nick Anderson. Now the visitors away with it.
That's a couple times that Cornell has had that forecheck going. It's slowed down or created turnovers, so that's good for Cornell, no question about it.
Well, trying to find Locke on the front end of a potential breakaway bid. Nicely cut off by Anderson right in front of the scorer's table. So under 4 minutes gone by here in the second. Malone, the only goal of the game, but came early on, just inside the opening 5 minutes. Now a long wrister by Mitten, blocker to side. Rebound, never made it to the front. The Big Red got a couple of sticks on that. Nimbly in traffic. Mitchell pushed it out through center. And the Raiders take back over. McDermott lobs it in. Malone takes a run at him. Game featuring some good energy, but not much in the way of shots. It was 10-5 after one been this season, now with 33 penalty minutes on the year. Arnaud Vachon leads the Raiders in time in the box with 45. Picked up 12 of those last night. In exchange with Cornell's Brenden Locke, who also picked up 12 minutes. Strange part about that was Brenden Locke just 2 penalty minutes coming into this weekend. And this one will be cleared out by the Raiders. And we saw a lot of the post-whistle stuff watching the game last night up at Colgate, and they just chose for the most part not to call it, and hadn't seen it called a whole lot here tonight other than O'Leary and Manderville picking up the matching calls near the end of the first period as Sam Malinsky. Nice job to avert disaster as the Big Red moves in. Penny feathers to the front, and throws it all the way down. McKechnie and Verboon share the team lead in power play goals, 4 each for head coach Don Vaughn's Raiders. Of course, Vaughn, an assistant back in the day. Was he still here when you skated here, Tim?
Yes, for 2 years, my sophomore and junior year, with Mike Schaefer.
At the line, the Raiders moving in. You talk about the dean of ECAC coaches. Once Joe Marsh retired, that kind of opened up the playing field for some of the other ones in the conference. Rand Pecknall, Mike Schaefer, Donnie Vaughn, all well over 20 years behind the respective benches.
Yep.
Near side, Alex Young, a shot! Cornell Big Red. Offside, undetected. And the goal stood. Alex Young cutting the deficit in half. It's now 2-1. The Red leading the Raiders. Zanitska with that long reach, trying to pick it loose. McDermott there to challenge him. Zanitska pretty nimble on his skates for a 6'6" guy. Little dancing there, though it wasn't a do-si-do like we saw last Saturday night here against Hartford.
Oh boy! Oh man, you're getting a little too excited with the crowd here.
Yeah. Oh man, I love it. Love it, baby.
Same here. Same here.
Malone,
yeah,
penalty coming. The referee out at center ice caught that. Motley with it, puts on the brakes, lost his footing. Malinsky keeps the play alive, but the whistle will come here. Berglund with the touch. Berglund, a Minnesota native. His parents were in town in Hamilton last night. Old Binghamton hockey friend Vince McNerney texting me from Norwich, where he is a Colgate season ticket holder nowadays. Traded the pro game in for the college. And he met up with the parents, texted me a nice picture of him with number 25's parents and said they were making the trip on down to Ithaca here tonight. So they're in-house for the game, but maybe feeling a little bit of shame right now. Their son in the penalty box. Malone handling. He got the first period tally that opened the scoring for the Big Red. Cornell trying to regain their 2-goal cushion. It's over 7.5 to go for period number 2. Malone cruising in, pulls up. Snaps it away from Josh McKechnie. It's cut off by Locke, and behind the net finds a stick of Malone once again. Scoots away, and McKechnie trying to get a shorthanded rush going. Vachon in, right circle shooting, gaining the line. Locke charging to the corner, behind the net, carries on the backhand. Out through the slot, feeding it up. Malinsky double clutches. That shot hit a body. Benson didn't have to make the save. Now Mitten and Zanitska. Zanitska centers. Locke had that one jump off a Colgate stick, then caught his shoulder, but Zanitska keeps it alive. Looking for Steinberg near side. He would have taken the puck had it arrived, but instead it was intercepted. He vacated on the change, and the Raiders come out. Now another takeaway. Here comes Motley. Pulling up, shooting. Blocked away on top, Rigo. Trickles it to the end boards. The way things are going, Cornell has had some pretty good passing down low, but start just shooting that puck around a lot down there, even soft shots to create something in front, because it's been a bit of a mess at times in front of Mitch Benson.
It's that kind of a game, too. That kind of a game. To break the puck out, Colgate keeps it in, ends up scoring a goal to tie this up 2-2.
Zanitska through center, trying to create a 2-on-1, and somehow, someway, somebody was able to neutralize the reach of a 6'6" number 26 in white, and that was Matt Verboon of Colgate. Now Malone. Under a minute to go here in period number 2. Benson on the handle. Colton Young. I was just going to say, before he had that break that got that scoring sequence started, one in here, and the blocker save made by Shane. I was waiting for a whistle.
Yeah, and it just stayed onside.
Right circle, the shot whipped wide. Colton Young with that rush on Ian. Colgate similarly. They're 2-2-1. As the puck goes down, we skate 5-on-5. Brendan Locke to move it out here for the Big Red. Diagonally across. Zanitska canceled out by McDermott. Into the corner. This one helped behind the net by the goaltending paddle of Mitch Benson. Shots 19-16 in favor of the Big Red after 2, as this one will draw an icing call.
Of course. So, I mean, it's just that you have to call that, and Griffin Lund's in the box for 2 minutes.
So the Raiders clear it down. The Big Red on the man up here this evening, 1 for 4. Steinberg getting the goal back in the second period. The Big Red 3 for their last 22 on the man up. Malone flips it around, nobody home at the point. Steinberg took a look around as if he knew what he was going to turn around and see, and that was nobody along the blue line, so the Big Red resetting. Here comes Penny. Locke dipping under the defender, Pearson Brandon. Penny in a wrestling match with a Raider going down the ice. Brandon away with it, and he'll flip it back into the Big Red zone.
Good job by Colgate the first half of this.
And they ran into some difficult times. They beat Arizona State up in Hamilton 8-3, fell the next night in overtime, and that began a 5-game losing streak, including a game that they were up 5-0, I believe in the third period against Western Michigan. As the Big Red shoot it here, Locke tips it behind Benson. It comes out the other side. Well, I've talked about maybe a little bit of puck luck missing, and now out of the box, Griffin Lund on the pickup, plays to the front. McKechnie hounded all the way down ice by Sam Malinsky and never could get that stick down. Brendan Locke going to be thinking about that one all night long.
Depends on how this game ends up. Let's say it that way.
Here comes Kemp firing right into the energized off the corner boards out through center, and the Big Red 3 seconds away from returning to full strength. Bramwell out of the box. Colgate moving in. They're now 1 for 3 on the power. Ian Shane, rather. Hybrid there of Ethan Manderville and Ian Shane.
You're just making up names as you go right now, aren't you? You're taking after me right now.
Listen here, Statler.
All right, Waldorf.
On the half wall, McGuire bounced around there. Heavy check in the corner. Locke on the receiving end as he was met by Ross Mitten. Locke pulls it free. Bergslund coming down the half wall, and it'll be Locke kicking it onto his own stick. Wide side of the ice. Malinsky with some room. Gets to the line. Rising snapshot. Here comes Mack. Across the line. He's with Steinberg. 2-on-4. Now Locke creeping into the slot, but Cornell losing possession. Locke trying to regain as Malinsky slips it into the corner. Here comes Mitten. Puck jumping around at the line. The Raiders hold it, and they have to clear the zone of their personnel as that slowed down rather quickly. Anderson now moves ahead before going off to his left, and it's driven in from center. Shane to glove it down. Off Keith Statler. I'm Waldorf. Inside joke. Muppet Show fans back in the days, you know what we're talking about. We're just a couple of grumpy old men calling a hockey game.
Too far. Anyway.
Bergslund right beneath our broadcast position. Shane cutting off his throw behind the net. And Mitchell turning it up the boards. Lund back out on top. And then once again, from whence it came, hammered into the corner. Lund with it, blind centering feed. Zanitska had that covered, but the Raiders up with it as they hold the zone. Now Mitchell. Zanitska finds some open ice with Locke awaiting, and Cornell trying to get going through center ice. Locke unable to relay in. That one cut off by Griffin Lund just outside.
Any shot that was being ready to take, and they're able to fall on it and get a face-off, much needed face-off.
Well, amazingly, talk about blocked shots, and we've seen numerous times here tonight as Kemp flips one to the front looking for Malone. Filtered all the way through. Now Zanitska with it. Official stat sheet shows Colgate with 9 block shots, Cornell with 7. Seems like there's been a lot more in the shooting lanes tonight.
But there's another one right there, makes it 10 for Colgate.
And this one cleared in by Brenden. A bit of a hit as Zanitska was shadowing him and getting off on a change. Anthony Stark flips off the glass. 4.5. Shots are 31-23 in favor of Cornell in a 2-2 game with just over 3 minutes remaining. Mitchell off the wall on his own end. And Malone takes a look. Flip for Zanitska. Catches up to it. Now needs some help to arrive. It does. Locke in. Firing! Blocker pad save made by Mitch Benson.
Unbelievable pass by Zanitska.
Transition the other way. Colton Young tried to center. Knocked down by Mitchell. Cleared out to the perimeter by Tim Rigo. Now Malone. 1-on-2. He turns and looks. All he sees for the most part, maroon jerseys. Now Locke behind the net. Feeding it off Mitchell. His shot off the stick of McKechnie. And the Raiders carry out with just over 2 minutes to go. Long shot blocked away. Battle of number 12s as Rigo snuffed out the chance by Colton Young. Now O'Leary. Shot out of a cannon, trying to get the puck to settle. Have partaken in this year on 7 different occasions. In front, shot cut off and cleared down ice by McKechnie. Shane to leave it there for Malinsky. Steinberg by himself at the opposing blue line as Malone, Malinsky, Locke, and Penny make their way into the offensive end. Now this one tipped away, shorthanded bid, Colton Young. Looking to gain position on Malinsky. Good job there by the junior blue liner to not give any space to the front. Tip the puck away, and Cornell works out. Cross the line, Penny with it. Power play, 1:20 to go in at game time, showing 62 seconds as it's cleared around and out. Steinberg from Malinsky. He'll rattle it around the wall. Colgate clears it to the point. Big Red holding in. Trying to settle here. Get into a flow on the power play. Malone and Steinberg down low. Now Locke a part of it. Cross ice for Malinsky. Low shot tipped wide by Penny. Ramped that one. General direction to the net, but Benson not able to make the save. Didn't have to. And it's played off the glass. Locke got a piece of it to prevent Cornell from having to chase it all the way down. Colgate got a couple of fresh penalty killers out there. Not quite sure it was a full 4-skater change, but if they need to, now they will, as this one sent the length of the ice with just 8 seconds.
In here to keep it 2-2. He's been solid all night.
McDermott for the Raiders. This one played in. The Big Red in overtime this season, 4-0-3. Alex Young feeding it off. Shot! Stick save made by Ian Shane. Colgate with their first opportunity here in the sudden death period. Minute gone by and Cornell moving out. Colgate 2-2-2 in overtime. Locke over for Rigo. Looks back to the point where he'll crisscross there with Mitchell in front. Try to jam that one through the skate of Griffin Lund to no avail. Third consecutive shootout here on home ice at Liner Rink. Crowd trying to get behind the 4-man unit that's out there as Mitchell wobbles one out through center. Locke turning it back for Rigo, and that spinning top is causing difficulties for the guys in white.
And Rigo wanted to get off the ice too and had to get pressed into service there.
Brenden and Malone down low. Malone opened the scoring, 4:06 into the first. Has the puck, Malinsky to the front, looking to bound it in off of Brendan Locke. Backdoor feed with Malone cutting, intercepted.